I was going to say Tuesday. It's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday. I have ordered a matcha hot milk tea from the local from yesterday. And we hit our 100th upload episode yesterday. I still have a big smile on my face. 100 videos on the channel, 28 subscribers, and I feel like my initial mission is complete. Proving to myself that I can find a format, stick to it, enjoy this process, make it work around my schedule, even amongst the chaos, and actually enjoy it and keep coming back. I cannot quite tell you how much fun I am having with these little episodes and creating content like this and being able to use that as my flywheel for my day and to clear my thoughts and to practice articulation training. Those YouTube ads are starting to get out of hand. I don't know if you've seen them now, but I think the AI variations of the different scenes that they recreate. There's that one, there's the office one, there's the old lady one with all the diamonds and pearls yelling at someone going, "Don't, I repeat, do not introduce your name. You need articulation training, 9 minutes a day." I don't think you need articulation training. I think you need to practice in front of camera. I think that is the best way. Man, yesterday at least 5 times I was doubting whether it was Tuesday. Something's happening this last week. It's like going to turn into the slowest and fastest week before we disappear. We've got, 1 more week, 10 days, 12 days, and then we're flying to Peru. We went and got some extra thermal stuff and camping things yesterday, but again, reminding me that we've planted the seed of deciding to do this type of trip with our friends as an annual thing. We decided that this was something that is a priority for us for the last 5 years. We have managed to do it for the last 5 years in a row. And like I said, the only time that we missed it, I ended up spending 6 weeks in the UK because my father passed away and it was too close to the trip. So we missed Altavia 1 in Italy on the Dolomites. Last September we did Altavia 2. Telling my clients and telling people that I'm going away for 3 weeks and I will be back in 3 weeks because I'm hiking the mountains for 10 days. Is the amount of people that are looking on my face going, "Oh my gosh, that is like a bucket list thing." And I remember many, many, many years ago when my sister and I were branding ourselves as the Howard sisters and building up our own personal brands in Hong Kong so that we could get jobs and modeling deals and connections and start building our own empire. Yes, we were planning on world domination back then, and it is still going to happen, I'm pretty sure. We were also, at one point, we decided to, it wasn't completely a bucket list, but it was that, why wait for later to do the things that you say you always want to do? And again, travel is a big one. But there are so many things that I feel like would go on a bucket list, like going to a dance class or going and doing something scary or going skydiving or going, and it blows my mind that we wait for these things for so long, if not until retirement, where we're supposed to enjoy all these physical endeavors and pursuits, when we have completely destroyed and not acknowledged any of our body and our needs and our wants during our entire lifetime. Oh yeah, then all of a sudden we're going to be fine. I always knew retirement was a lie, in the sense that, like, the family friends that I could see around me growing up, especially the entrepreneurial ones, there was something about them that I knew was never going to retire. Like, these guys were going to be at it until you had to pull them away from the job or physically refrain them from doing something. And then I remember as I was getting a little bit older, watching my father stop taking care of himself and stop going to the gym and stop. Again, it was annoying because at the last couple of years, like, he did start going to the gym again, but he was very much still stuck in an old training mindset from his powerlifting days, that he wasn't doing new things that were actually going to help his body now. And the biggest thing, unfortunately, for my father was the alcohol. He wasn't supposed to be drinking alcohol after he had his liver thing, and And he did, and he still did. And it's amazing. I have one of, there was lovely, over the summer, there's been a really cute dynamic duo that came into the gym. A father and his son bought his son personal training package so that over the summer he could come and train and get better for his sports. And the lovely gentleman is an art teacher at one of the schools out here, and it's been absolutely beautiful to watch that and to watch the son come in for a session, the dad to train afterwards, and for the two of them to have that experience of getting themselves well. And it was during a time over the summer where his wife was dealing with the passing of her mother, and so while everybody was on hold and waiting, no better thing to do than to start getting your own health in check. And I had said to this gentleman the other week, I said, I don't think you quite realize like how amazing that is, that you've decided to do that and that you've decided to invest in that with your son, and for him to watch you take control of your training and your weight and your health and your strength. I said, the son is only 15, 16. I said, I remember around 16 when my sister and I were starting to get back into our training, and we were begging Dad to come and show us a few things at the gym, and he did. I think we got him in there once or twice. And we thought that getting excited about training again and you know, getting us to do it would bring him in and get him excited to do it again, and, you know, get him back on the journey. And it's just like, no. And unfortunately, like, it just gets to a certain point where if this starts to deteriorate and break down, I say when this starts to deteriorate and break down with age, it is too late to start. I mean, at the end of the day, it's never too late to start, but it really, that whole longevity or compounding effect of what you do now affects what you do later. And what's crazy is that it doesn't take that much. You know, the 20 minutes here, the little bike walk there, the little finding something that you enjoy doing here, the just getting on for little walks and just getting yourself used to doing movement and moving the body. I find it amazing. I mean, I remember doing it as well. I didn't know. Even becoming a personal trainer even made me more confused half the time than, you know, not knowing that sort of stuff. And I was then trained to actually program and do it. It still didn't stop my mind from expecting immediate results. Even when I knew that you needed, you know, 6 to 8 week training blocks to even barely scratch the surface of whatever it is that you're doing. And 6 to 8 week training blocks are going to continue to unfold across your life until such time that it stops. So it's like, what are you going to do with the next 8 weeks? What are you going to do with the next 6 weeks? What are you going to do? I remember a long time ago, what was it? I was sitting in that little room. I was living out of a hole in the wall in Central with one of those little bunk bed subdivided rooms with a little toilet and a desk underneath. It was about this big. And I remember watching a reel or something about, I think it was an elderly woman who had gone and done, like, started fitness in her 50s or 60s or something, and what she'd achieved in 5 years was absolutely phenomenal. And I remember thinking to myself, so when I get to retirement age, I could basically pick a skill for 2 years and just rotate through different skills and focus on them for a couple of years. And then it reminded me that it was hitting me at that point where I was like, well, why are you then struggling to do that now? Why are you struggling to be okay with focusing on developing yourself as a human being for the next 2 years and seeing what unfolds? I think so much of this stuckness of the flow of a lot of the creativity is because it comes with so much force and desperation at the beginning because you're looking for a way out of where you're currently at. And I still believe that the best way forward is first to calm the waters where you are. Because even making rash decisions when you're in that state of, like, you will jump literally straight from one thing to the next, thinking it's the next brilliant idea, or thinking, this is what I want to do. And when you've spent zero time actually contemplating what you would like to do and actually trying different things to see even if it is remotely interesting to you, the second you do it, you know. I still remember the first time I put on a workshop. I was working myself up and freaking myself out for so long. The second I put on the workshop, one, you get the visceral fucking fear that comes at you that only training can out-train out of you. Like, only by putting yourself in front of people. I remember learning this doing the F45 stuff, right? Standing in front of a group of adults first thing in the morning, telling them all the exercises, walking them through the breakdown. That was my presentation practice. And even with everything prepared, all my notes, all the slides, you stand up in front of people and fear, nerves, voice shaking, and you've still got to talk and present through it. It's very different being in front of people physically as well and being online. Different feel. It's easier to feed off a room when they're in person, but it's also scary because you've not got that like distance. It's very real, and yeah, I find it amazing how people shit on people who present. Anyway, reps, practice. The second I opened my mouth, the second I started on the first thing, the second I had completed the workshop, I was like, okay, well, I know exactly what I can do to get better. And that, I feel that's the game, right? Like pushing yourself out that way. I did have one thread I wanted to talk about and I'm just lost it. Let me have a sip of my tea and see if I can pull at it again. It was nice. I was supposed to have an early start, and then my client called and said she'll start at 7:30 this morning. So I've got about 5 more minutes, and then I got to run downstairs and skedaddle for today. What was it? A thread. The 100 videos, and coming back to that, finding something that you can create 100 of. I remember the other time that I did that was the first time I committed to my journaling and my morning pages, the Julia Cameron morning style pages, where it's just word vomit, stream of consciousness first thing in the morning for 3 pages, no matter what it is, even if you end up writing the same damn sentence again like Bart Simpson at the end, just to finish the 3 sentences, you just, the 3 pages, you just keep going. And I remember getting to day 100 and something flipped in my brain because I could see the next 100 days unfolding. And it was then on me, again, same thing that happened in High Rocks, once we'd set the date, from being close to being one with the sofa, the date was set, the day is going to arrive, now it's on you how much pain you're going to be on race day. Same thing happened with my journals. All right, the next 100 days, that number at the top of the page is going to turn into 200 if you keep going through this process, because that's what happens. The days keep moving, and on day 200, are you going to be writing the same things that you're complaining about today on day 200, or are you going to do something about it and make sure that at that next 100-day checkpoint, we are complaining about new problems or we are solving new things? And that, I think I hadn't realized how, maybe not difficult, but how long sometimes it can take to shift into that longer term thinking, that you don't freak yourself out in the present moment for deciding to take a track and allowing it to unfold a little bit, or allowing yourself to do enough of the reps and then reminding yourself that it's okay to change your mind and that it's okay to pivot in a little bit of time, especially when you understand how not to feel like you're starting from zero every single time, and how to actually accumulate all the things that you're doing. Yes, depending on what projects you've got, again, nuance, you know, when the timeline shifts and a new project starts, no matter what you've been doing, it feels for you like you've been doing this forever, but the timeline does start again, and you've got to give that project enough time for things to actually come into fruition before you know, shoot it in the legs and kill it before it's even had a chance to you know, grow a pair and run away. I feel like that's the wrong ism for that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just, that 100, I don't know. I don't know. We live in a weird world. People are weird. This life is strange. But you get to make of it what you choose and what you decide to bring into this life. And there's something there about learning to create unconditionally for yourself again and find that joy in finding some sort of outlet with all of this, especially if you are and have wanted to be in the content creation game. Because this is the game. Longevity in the reps, in the story, you figuring out how to not lose inspiration, and also how to not get sidetracked when life does its thing, when competition does its thing, when the algorithms are doing its thing, when, you know, I can't remember who it was. I remember reading it from Kieran Drew. I can't remember who he quoted it from. I'll have to go find it. But it was something along the lines of you can't beat somebody who is having fun at this game. Like, if you are white knuckling and forcing yourself through this, there's just a natural end. There's just a natural end compared to somebody that has cultivated that intrinsic drive and that is just genuinely having fun. And I think that is what I enjoyed ticking over yesterday, seeing that 100 videos. It's like, I am genuinely having fun with this. So whatever this turns into and wherever this goes, I'm very excited to be bringing in the Spill the Tea episodes when I get back. So that's where I want to be jumping on with other creators and just having behind the scenes chats, not even really introducing them, just kind of chatting shit about the shit that happens that nobody can talk about, that the peer-to-peer conversations that I have with my other creator friends in the back, and the little mindset glitches that we've had to talk each other through and mirror back to each other and hold each other accountable. And yeah, I don't know, I think it's going to be really, really fun. I want to do at least one of those a month as I get back. One, to just keep in touch with my creator friends, but two, to start figuring out how that format of kind of unfiltered, open-ended podcast style happens. Because I do have I really enjoy the podcast style, but I also know for a fact I do not want to just be a full-time podcaster. So I think the Spill the Tea is a lovely bubble to kind of test it in. And the Tea with Maya episodes will continue Monday to Friday, and then it'll just be, a once-a-month bonus one. But man, oh man, something's again shifted, pre-Mountain Maya and post-Mountain Maya. I'm going back on the gym floor and realizing that I have what it takes. I want to do this. I want to build. I care. I genuinely give a shit. And just like I say to my clients, for just that alone, you can charge double. And so again, who are you actually trying to convince that you can do what you can do? Because the last person that has to believe it is you. Then things get exciting. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Yes, I'll see you guys tomorrow.